If you were fired from your job, right, would you tell everybody about it? More importantly, would you make sure everybody knew that you were fired and didn't just leave for some other opportunity? That's the story of one famous CEO of a great organization you probably all heard of. We're going to talk about that today and why that authenticity exemplified by him is so important to being and building better bosses in business. I'm Ben Lichtenwalder. Whoops, wrong screen. There we go. I'm Ben Lichtenwalder. Today we're going to talk about Boss Beat, a latte of leadership for those seeking to be and build better bosses in business. I'm Ben, and yeah, I do like my bees. Now, let's dive into today's story. The example I'm speaking of specifically is Chad Dickerson. Chad was CTO at Etsy in the early years when he helped build the technology that was the platform and still is largely driving the platform today. He was promoted to CEO in July of 2011 and remained in that role until 2017. Under his leadership, Etsy grew 14 times. It also made the best places to work list 4 years in a row. Chad also helped lead the company to becoming a certified B Corporation, which is that unique distinguishment for organizations that are not only out to make a profit, but also commit annually to ensuring the world's a better place by giving back or serving some social cause. Now, when Chad was promoted from CTO to CEO, he wrote an email to all employees. He was very candid in that email about both the challenges he saw for the organization and his own weaknesses and concerns, asking the employees for grace as he grew into the role. When he was fired in 2017, Chad insisted on being candid about the fact that he'd been fired. Quoting him from an article, Chad said, "The fact that I publicly said I had gotten fired versus some quote-unquote decided to pursue other opportunities corporate BS is largely due to the sense of truth I gathered from working with a coach." He said, "Life is full of pain. Lean into it. If you got fired, speak the truth. It always catches up with you anyways." I want to talk about the attributes now. Every time we cover an episode on Boss Beat, we talk about attributes that support that principle. And these attributes are especially relevant to Chad's example. The first attribute of authenticity is having a servant's heart. Now, don't let the heart get you all touchy-feely worried. It's about deep down. What is your main purpose? Is it to serve others? If it's not, if it's to serve yourself, you don't have a servant's heart. If your primary drive is to serve others, that's a servant's heart. Chad's candor in sharing his challenges early on and then on being fired helped serve the employees, students of his work, and the technology community in general. They saw the reality that leaders are human. They face challenges as well. And Chad's honesty about being fired helped make it okay to talk about being fired, something that is too much of something we don't talk about, something we hide or forget, like it's some tragedy that we drove ourselves so hard. And yes, sometimes we fall short of the expectations of others. The second attribute supporting the principle of authenticity is encouraging individuality. Look, if you cannot be yourself where you are, you will never be as great of a leader or boss as you could be in an organization where you can be yourself. Could you be a good boss in an organization? Sure, but you will never be as great unless you are in an organization where you can truly be yourself. The same is true of those you serve. So make sure that you are encouraging individuality from the team. If you work in HR and are helping to build better bosses, make sure they are being themselves and encouraging individuality in others. The last attribute I want to talk to you about today that supports authenticity is honesty. Now, honesty is about more than simply telling the truth. Honesty is being the truth, both for yourself and for others. Chad's honesty, even as he was fired and left Etsy, helped build the truth for those fired with him and those who remained in the organization by strengthening the culture and reiterating their culture of transparency. Now, Every weekday, we do one of these episodes on Boss Beat, and we like to also include a quote that we can look to for reference. Today, I want to highlight one by Frederick Douglas, the abolitionist. Frederick said, "I prefer to be true to myself, even at the hazard of incurring the ridicule of others, rather than to be false, and to endure my own abhorrence." Questions to ask yourself as you seek to be and build better bosses. First, where are you not being yourself in the workplace today? Where are you not being yourself in the workplace today? And second, of course, the follow-up to that, how are you going to change that? Each weekday at Boss Beat, we talk about one of the 7 core principles of great leadership that are critical to being and building better bosses in business. They are on your screens right now. Now, where do those 7 core principles come from? They come from the acronym model of servant leadership. This is based on 2 decades of studying hundreds of attributes from the greatest leadership experts and authors out there, as well as great examples. Why? Because all of those books and examples are wonderful, but many of them are based on a single person's lived experience. We want to make sure that we've consolidated the best for you so that you get examples that are tried and true, applicable and practical in your role and your organization. If you like this sort of content, please check out modernservantleader.com. There you will find gobs of free resources, as well as lists and examples and references to courses that I do teach on the topic. I'm Ben Lichtenwallner. Until next time, my friends, please keep serving.